Hi, Jenny.
Hello.
So thank you for joining me today. I thought we could do a quick 5-minute chat and let people know all about our workshop on Thursday on habit building and goal setting, which is 7 p.m. this Thursday. You can grab tickets from the link in my bio. So me and Jenny are going to discuss just a brief overview of why we came up with this workshop, our intention for it, and what we would hope that you walk away with. So both of us have been on the pendulum swing of diet culture all the way to rejecting diet culture completely. And then we both have recently found ourselves back in the kind of place where we wanted to make changes and didn't know really how to approach it in a kind of compassionate way, because we'd always done it in such a disordered, terrible way. So through our own experiences and knowledge, we've successfully managed to implement changes, health promoting behaviours, but without going anywhere near the things that we may have previously had to do. So we just wanted to let you know actually that it can be really hard to approach goal setting and habit building, but you can actually do it in a completely different way, in a very kind and compassionate way.
We promise you can. Yeah, I think we were saying that when you have two big pendulum swings, what in both ends of the pendulum, you're kind of lost to a system, really, aren't you? And what happens when we come back to the center is it's putting you at the center, putting ourselves at the center, and figuring out who we are. What do we like? What are our capacities? What are our interests? What are our timetables? Things like that. What times a day do we work best at if we're going to have a movement, for example, a habit, and just realizing that actually our goals and our habits should be working for us and not us being, at the sort of whirlwind of these goals and habits that maybe aren't for us at all. And that, we can do them in a really easy, fun, positive way.
Exactly.
And it's much better.
It's much better. And it's also possible, because I think people can worry like, well, how do I go about making changes or working towards different health outcomes without all that disordered diet culture side of things? We may never have experienced that in our lives.
I know I haven't before this time.
It's possible. And I think that's
possible.
such a good point, what you said about we put ourselves at the center. And once we've rejected everything diet culture, you can kind of come back and be like, well, actually, I really enjoyed walking.
Pardon, Moose just fell off the bed. So he did fall off the bed. I'm so sorry if he just rolled himself right off.
No, you can figure out that you did actually enjoy some of the things that you did. It's just that, and once you've removed the diet culture bullshit, you can get back to enjoying it for your own reasons.
Yourself, I know. Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll discuss the different types of goal setting as well, because I think some people can get a little bit overwhelmed by goals. Like they can feel very big, they can feel unrealistic, or we might feel like we have to set really challenging goals, and it's figuring that out as well. But we all actually respond differently to different types of goals, and we're allowed to challenge the ways that we might have been told we need to set goals. And we can make them as small and as manageable as we need.
Absolutely. And then we'll work back and sort of look at the habits that we can use, kind-hearted habits that we can use. There's lots of tools and tricks and things like, practical things that you can do to get started on that first step towards your goal. And hopefully, feeling in a really positive, empowered way. And that's the main thing, isn't it? When you're choosing goals for yourself and then figuring out how you work best and then picking the habits that will sort of build up to that goal, and you're doing it all with you at sort of the center of it. It's a completely different experience.
It feels really loving and gentle. And not to give too much away, because you have to come to the workshop, but there's a lovely part in the middle that brings the habits and goal setting together that I'm really looking forward to that part. I liked last time.
Me too. And
And
we're
then,
also hoping for the coaching part, aren't we, at the end?
yes, so at the end of the workshop, you will all have an opportunity to pick our brains, and we can put together a next steps plan. So we want this to be a workshop that you come away from feeling like you are motivated and ready to take that next step.
Yes.
You know, so this will probably be a really useful workshop if you're in that mindset now where you're getting ready, thinking about making the changes, but you don't quite know how to go about it. So hopefully you can come away with a more clear view of your why, a couple of things for you to affirm around, which can't give away, and then hopefully you will have a next steps plan. And even if that next step isn't an action based, but is more about planning, because that's part of goal setting too. Like, you can research and plan. Like, people don't realize that it's not all about taking that action, but hopefully you will come away with, okay, this is the next thing that I'm going to do to get me closer towards goal setting. And
we'll make sure of it. We'll make sure they're walking away with that, because then, when to pick our brains about anything, if there's any questions that people have around how you implement things or whatever. But I know for myself, it can be so overwhelming, can't it, sometimes, to pick the one thing. But you only really need to start with one thing. And we need to simplify. We're allowed to simplify. We're allowed to let it be easier. We're allowed to let it be less complicated. It can be a really fun. It can be fun.
Absolutely.
A way to approach goals and habit building. So, and that's what we're all about, isn't it, really?
And that's what we will be hoping for you to come away with. So a little bit of clarity, a little bit of motivation, and just feeling empowered, and all about you, basically.
And we'll cheerlead you. We'll be the cheerleaders along the way. For sure.
So join us Thursday, 7 p.m. online, and you can get the tickets from my bio. If anybody watching this is signed up to my Patreon or mine or Jenny's newsletter, you can actually get it at a cheaper price. So have a little read on one of our profiles for more information. But looking forward to seeing you Thursday.
So looking forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.